Hi, welcome to the channel. Today I'm talking about something you might find important. I get sick during the full moon.
Memes. And I know what you're thinking. It sounds strange, maybe even a little crazy.
But by the end of this video, I hope you'll see that this experience is more common than you think.
I didn't just randomly notice this. My story starts back in high school. I had a classmate who was a diabetic patient, and she had this routine where she would be absent from school. We all just figured it was for hospital appointments. But one day, a friend of mine pointed something out. She was absent on a very specific schedule. It was always during a full moon. Now, my other friend watched a lot of TV shows, and she joked, "What if she's a werewolf?" I know, it's funny, right? I told her how silly that was. But the idea stuck in my head. Days and months passed. One night, I was outside my house, and I saw this brilliant full moon. I immediately remembered that joke about werewolves. And then my mind went to this traditional thought I'd heard, that people who are possessed become uncontrolled during a full moon. For centuries, people have linked the moon to strange behavior. The very word lunacy comes from the Latin word for moon. Cultures have worshipped the moon, and folklore is filled with dark tales of transformations. As I was standing there thinking, what if it's true? I suddenly felt this heavy headache, nausea. It was so weird. I just rushed home and went to sleep, trying to brush it off. But then, it happened again. Sometime later, I got that same heavy, specific headache. I wasn't even thinking about it this time. I looked outside, and sure enough, full moon. This happens to me even now. And it's not just headaches. If I have a simple stomachache, it gets worse. The slightest flu feels like a deathbed. It's like the full moon aggravates any illness I already have. I thought, okay, am I a werewolf? Am I possessed? So I started researching, and what I found was fascinating. The first thing everyone points to is water. We know the moon's gravitational pull is so powerful it controls the Earth's oceans, causing high and low tides. And what are our bodies mostly made of? Water. Humans are between 55 and 78% water. So the theory is, if the moon can pull the entire ocean, it's got to be doing something to the water in our bodies. This is the part that many people debate, and a direct scientific link has been controversial. But after decades of skepticism, researchers are starting to find real, subtle influences. The strongest evidence is on our sleep. A 2013 study found that around the full moon, people took longer to fall asleep, slept for 20 minutes less, and, this is key, had 30% less deep sleep. This was linked to decreased levels of melatonin, the sleep hormone. And get this, a 2021 study looked at people in rural Argentina with no electricity and college students in a big city like Seattle. Both groups slept less and went to bed later in the days leading up to a full moon. This suggests it's not just about the light of the moon, but maybe an innate adaptation. Mental health. It turns out small studies have found a link between lunar cycles and the rapid mood swings in patients with bipolar disorder. Menstrual cycles. This one is amazing. A study that tracked women's cycles for 15 years found that their periods intermittently synced with the moon, often starting around the new or full moon. That link faded as women got older or were exposed to more artificial light. Now, to be clear, the research is still evolving. While my experience feels real, many of the old beliefs haven't held up. For example, the idea that the full moon brings an increase in crime or emergency room visits. Large-scale reviews have found no correlation at all. So, what's really happening to me? It could be a mix of two things. First, a real biological pull. That lack of deep sleep and the potential disruption of hormones like melatonin could absolutely make me feel sick. or make an existing flu or stomachache feel 10 times worse. Second, there's a powerful psychological effect. Psychologists call one part of this illusory correlation. That's when you believe two things are related, like the full moon and feeling sick, so you pay special attention when they happen together and ignore all the times you felt sick when it wasn't a full moon. There's also a self-fulfilling prophecy. Think about my story. I first felt that headache right after I was thinking about werewolves and possession. Now, I expect to feel on edge during a full moon, and that expectation might be what triggers the feeling. My thoughts are impacting my actions. So, am I a werewolf? No. Am I possessed? I don't think so. But am I imagining it? I don't think so either. It seems my experience is a combination of a subtle, real biological rhythm and the powerful beliefs that have surrounded the moon for all of human history. But what about you? Have you ever experienced this? Do you feel different during a full moon? Or have you noticed a pattern in your sleep or mood? Let me know in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious to hear your experiences. If you found this interesting, please give this video a like and subscribe so it can reach more people. Thanks for watching, and check in on yourself next full moon.